Puerto Rico is a colony of the United States since 1898, which explains a lot of our history, especially the history of our poverty. All the major change in the situation of Puerto Rico have a relationship with our colonial situation.
Puerto Rico, an island built on resistance. Long before Hurricane Maria, another disaster, this one human-made, had already been afoot in Puerto Rico, the disaster of colonialism. But in the valley of Caguas, el corazón de Puerto Rico, the heart of Puerto Rico keeps a strong beat.
Si te duele el hombro, si te duele la espalda, si estás estresado o estresada, si tienes depresión o si simplemente estás tratando de dormir mejor, asiste y participa en la clínica de acupuntura desde las 9 de la mañana en el Centro de Apoyo Mutuo. It's so clear for the people that the government just collapsed, that people are not expecting anything out of the government. They're just like in the process of understanding that the government is not anymore there, and we need to do something by ourselves.
The lack of government aid after the hurricanes struck a response at the Centro de Apoyo Mutuo, where a community rescued this abandoned building to provide basic needs to the many Puerto Ricans left to fend for themselves. Here, Puerto Ricans are acting without hesitation and without help from the government to rebuild their community, while liberating themselves in the process.
The perspective of work has to do with decolonizing people and to helping people to get to other conclusions. Most of the people are not happy with the situation. And that's not because we have not tried. It's because we have all this other history of being infiltrated and receiving violence. So actually that is the way the imperialist government of the United States have stopped us of being an independence.
When we had the idea of doing this initiative, we were thinking about the solution would be food and health. And what we can do with health is doing ear acupuncture, because we want to practice the revolution as the way the young lords did, because being healthy is part of the revolution also.
Modeled after a history of revolutionary movements that resembled the Young Lords and the Black Panthers' free food programs, the center offers its services through volunteer time, resources, and donations. After the hurricanes, most people in Puerto Rico were left with unusable electric stoves, making it difficult to cook their own food at home. Today, thousands of Puerto Ricans still do not have electricity. This is why the Centro de Apoyo Mutuo, often just called CAM, serves breakfast and lunch to the community 3 days a week. For many, the center has become a safe haven.
Today, it's about 110 days after the hurricane, and people say, until when is CAM going to be serving food? I said, when hunger ends, then we leave. Or we change our agenda, okay? When hunger ends. I wish it would end tomorrow or today, but we realistically don't see this happening.
We don't only need to have food daily, but we actually have to think about new laws in Puerto Rico that can affect why we are poor, why I don't have food in my house, or even why the health system is like it is, privatized only for the rich, and if you are poor, you just are there to die if you develop something that you cannot treat.
Not only is the center an effort to meet basic needs after the hurricane, but also to resolve the political and economic struggles faced by Puerto Ricans.
When Maria passed here through the island, even if it was a strong natural disaster and that somehow underlined all the social and political and economical disasters of this island, some way in my personal life it pushed me to a place that I was looking for. Like it got me out of the system, in fact.
Since the camp in Caguas was started, countless other grassroots organizations have exemplified similar efforts. Whether it's cooking food or growing it, these centers work to create a self-sustainable and sovereign Puerto Rico.
Having the exercise of solidarity and also of sovereignty, that exercise of what we need to make a free Puerto Rico, you know, it's shown in its most basic level in the heart of the Centro de Apoyo Mutuo and the efforts that are happening. And then that there's so many happening that it's not a coincidence. So even though there hasn't been the resources, I think, or the time to really, the Centro de Apoyo Mutuo see themselves as a movement, it is a movement that has emerged. And it needs to be understood as that, to understand the importance of these places sprouting all over the island after the hurricane.
I think CAM is more than about food. Food is really important because we need food to sustain our bodies, but it also sustains our soul and our spirit because of the solidarity. People stand up straight and they hold their chin up high and they smile, and they can't put a price on that.
Something that I've learned and something that we all think is that for you to work for transformation, if you want to work for transformation, if you want to change society, you have to feel responsible of society. You feel responsible for it and you feel part of it. So that's the only way to change it. It's almost logical that people must organize themselves to meet their basic needs. And once they meet their basic needs, they will keep empowering themselves to liberation, to other things, to have a decent health system, to have a decent home, to have dignity, to being treated with dignity, and not just like another colonial subject like we are.